Diablo. It's been a fun-filled day here on BlizzCon 2009, and we're only just getting started. We've got hours more of great content. I'm Jeff Keighley from Spike TV here with Cat Hunter, and we are joined by another special guest because there was a major announcement earlier today for Diablo 3, a brand new class, the Monk. And joining us now is Jay Wilson, the lead designer of Diablo 3. Jay, how's the reaction been to the new class announcement?
So far, it seems really good. Everyone seems really excited about it and having a lot of fun. We were watching people play in the game floor, and because as soon as the class was announced, we unlocked them in the demo so that everyone could play them. And so we've been kind of watching and getting feedback, and people seem to be having a really good time.
Were there people actually sitting down playing, and then their game instance changed after the announcement, and all of a sudden they could pick a new class?
Yep.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, we just had a little switch that we flipped, and once we did that, then everyone could play the Monk.
Oh, that's awesome.
Now, I got to ask you about the fact that you've announced, 4 of the classes now. The Monk is there now. There's, female and male versions of a lot of these characters. We have the Monk as the male version. Is there a female equivalent that you've announced yet?
There will be a female equivalent of the Monk. We're actually working on it right now. We aren't showing her today, but we are working on it.
Can you have a female Monk, or do you have a? You can't,
because it's our world, and we can do whatever we want.
Interesting.
All right, so we'll look forward to news on that. Now, there is basically one more class to announce, right?
Yes.
BlizzCon next year. Do we know when we'll hear that?
Maybe. I can't say, but it's probably good money.
Good money, right?
How far are you in development right now? I understand we don't have a launch date, but where are you in the development process?
Well, it's funny because we don't. A lot of people ask us things like, "What's your percentage complete?"
Right.
We don't really measure our games like that. So we just basically keep working on the game until we think it's really good. But we do have stages that we go through in development. And right now we're essentially in what we call hardcore production, which is we have most of our major questions answered. Our game's fun. We have kind of the plan for everything we're going to do. We're just trying to churn out kind of all the content. And that's really one of the most involved processes, because once we decide what we want to make, building all the worlds and monsters and characters and skills is just very, very time consuming.
Now, you announced a new character class here. There's one more to go. How far in advance do you know what all the classes are going to be? I mean, have you known all 5 for 3 years now and just rolling them out?
We've known all 5 for about 2 years.
Wow.
Although I will say that when the rubber hits the road, sometimes there are changes.
Okay.
And for example, with the 5th class, which we have not built yet, is under debate right now.
Really?
So it's not 100% decided, or it was decided, now people are
decided, and the general ballpark of what we're going to do is probably not going to change, but we are playing around with some different ideas.
Interesting.
It's our last one, so we get a lot of, it's important to us. It's got to be really good. So.
Absolutely.
Makes sense. Can you tell everyone who's watching this and not here, able to play the game, what the stage is that you have on the show floor today?
What
the stage is that the fans are able to play today?
Yes. Well, we wanted people to experience a new act in a new environment.
Right.
We also wanted them to see, last year our demo was very dungeon heavy.
Yeah.
So we really wanted to focus on something that was more an exterior environment, although there is a dungeon in it. So we focused on an area in Act 2. It's a little further in the game. It's a little bit more challenging, and it is an outdoor kind of deserty environment, very harsh winds and storms. And then under it, there's a dungeon that's kind of a buried, ruined tomb. And one of the cool things is we actually have one of the versions of it you go into, the whole thing's collapsing, and you've got to get out of it before it collapses.
The timed event, right. We had a chance to play that. So do you have, also one of the things that this stage features is that you're able to use things like storms in order to fight different enemies. Is that something that's unique to the desert level, or is it something you have without?
We try to put something in every environment that allows the player to use the environments. And in this case, there's several tornadoes that can appear out in the environments, and they're certainly dangerous to the player, but the player can also drag monsters into them and watch them get thrown around and taken down. And most of the environments we go to, we try to do something unique to allow the players to kind of get a different experience in that environment.
We're going to go to Twitter now, Jay. We've got a lot of Twitter questions coming in for you on my account, at Jeff Keighley. You can also get Cat at Cat Hunter, and also at the DTV for DirecTV. A question here comes in from Biodome 10. He says, Jay, are there plans on releasing any additional classes through downloadable content? You thought about that?
It's probably a little far off for us to decide something like that. That's typically the kind of thing we do as an expansion. not as a DLC.
Right.
But until we actually get the game closer to finish, we probably won't have a plan developed for that.
Okay.
We definitely, I mean, we like downloadable content. We've done it for a lot of our games. We've done it for Diablo 2 and for Warcraft 3. So it's not unheard of that we would, but a class might be too big for something like that.
Makes sense.
All right, want to go to another one here,
Yeah,
Kat?
one more, and
another
then I have one from the forums.
Okay, cool. This question comes from Dracomar, and he says, are the drops in Diablo going to be random, or much like a WoW boss will drop a preset list of items?
No, we do item drops pretty much exactly the way Diablo 2 did, which is every monster has a chance to drop anything that could be dropped. And almost all the items that are created are randomly generated. So there's no like set, you know, specific items. There are some, but there's few, I should say. That would be best. And one of the things we want to do is make sure that the random items really compete with some of those unique items that you found. But bosses have a higher chance to drop better items, but they don't drop specific items.
And those drops are for the individual, not party drops, correct?
Yeah, one of the things we changed about the game from Diablo 2 is whenever any monster dies, it can actually drop an item for every player.
That's awesome.
And anything you see on the ground is your item. You can pick it up because it's for you. Now, players can pick up items and drop them, and those are free game. But anything that a monster drops is done on a per-player basis.
Excellent. I love that. We have a question from the BlizzCon forums, and they want to know, how is Diablo multiplayer going to integrate with Battle.net? Have you determined that?